世界のみんなとつながろう Bridges across world communities.
Hello and welcome to Bridges Across World Communities, sponsored by NIA, the Nishinomiya City International Association. My name's Floyd.
And my name is Thelma. Each month we provide useful knowledge for daily living and important information about disaster prevention.
This program is for English-speaking residents in the Nishinomiya area and is broadcast on the second and fourth Saturday of each month from 12 noon to 12:15.
This month we'll talk about the health benefits of drinking tea and cover the latest COVID-19 vaccination information.
And we have the second half of our two-part interview with Mr. Jonathan Rubashkin from the U.S. who now lives in Amagasaki.
提供は西宮市国際交流協会です。Hello everyone, it's June again, which means the hot and humid rainy season is now in full swing in Japan.
That's right, and here in the Kansai region, this wet weather can sometimes last until the end of July.
Yeah, which means we have to prepare for possible disasters caused by heavy rains.
And for the higher risk of heat stroke, so be sure to drink plenty of water and keep hydrated, everyone. So Thelma, what's our topic this month?
Green tea.
Green tea?
Yes.
Okay.
Green tea and its relationship with sushi, Floyd. Have you ever wondered why sushi restaurants serve hot green tea in big, thick teacups?
No, not really.
Well, I'll tell you anyway.
Okay.
It's because green tea contains catechins, and these have a sterilizing effect and are known to prevent food poisoning from raw fish, just like the gari, the light pink ginger, and wasabi that are also served with sushi.
Well, thanks a lot. You know, I never thought I'd have to worry about food poisoning from raw fish in Japan.
And there's another reason for serving green tea with sushi, with all the different types of ingredients like seafood, vegetables, and even meat. Green tea is a great way to clear away the taste in your mouth before eating the next piece of sushi.
Okay, so that's kind of like what we'd call a palate cleanser in the West.
Yes,
okay, now by the way, I learned a new word the other day, neta.
Neta.
Neta is the Japanese word for the fish, vegetable, or whatever that's the main ingredient in your sushi.
Oh, nicely done. Here's your gold star, Floyd.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so I have a question for you. Do you know why sushi restaurant teacups are so big and thick?
Well, I assume they're shaped like that so that you can hold them in your hand even when they are, the tea is very hot.
Yeah, that's one reason. But also, long ago, sushi was originally a cheap food that was sold at food stalls and eaten while standing. And the tea served at the time was the cheapest powdered kind. Anyway, these large cups were used so the person running the stall didn't have to waste time continually serving tea to customers.
Oh, also, during the hot and humid rainy season, food spoiled easily, right? So, as we said, hot green tea with its antibacterial properties was a good way to reduce the risk of food poisoning.
That's right. So now, what's the best green tea to have with your sushi?
Well, there are many kinds, such as sencha, gyukuru, bancha, matcha, and roasted tea. But the best green tea for sushi is said to be konnacha.
Why is that?
Well, konnacha is made up of the tea buds, small leaves, and the dust that are left behind after the processing of high-quality gyukuru and sencha tea leaves.
Wow.
And it's cheaper and has less aroma and flavor, so it doesn't interfere with the taste of sushi.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, drinking green tea has been a part of the Japanese diet for about 800 years, and it's drink rich in healthy ingredients that are good for the body. And it's even been claimed that drinking or gargling green tea can be effective in preventing the flu.
Well, now that we're being so much more careful about our health, especially with the corona pandemic, perhaps more of us should include green tea as a part of our daily diet.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea, and no problem for me, Floyd, because I love green tea.
And we'd like to welcome Mr. Jonathan Rubashkin from the USA for the second part of our interview.
Oh, thank you so much.
Welcome back. Welcome for joining us again. Now, last month we were talking a little bit about, I guess, when you first came to Japan and where you're living and things like that. Now, and you also mentioned your wife. Is your wife, did she come with you or is she from Japan?
So my wife's from Japan. We actually met during my first year living in Japan.
Where did you meet?
So we met in Fukuyama City in Hiroshima.
Now, you mentioned you came to Japan about 5 years ago, and you first came to that area?
That's correct.
So how did you decide to end up in that part of Japan?
Sure. So at the time, I had two different job offers. One was to work in Fukuyama City. The other was to work in Kumamoto and Kyushu. But I thought Kyushu is really far away, so a little difficult to travel around Japan. And I thought Fukuyama would be a nicer place to be stationed.
So you might have met somebody else if you went to the...
don't tell my wife that.
Yeah, so were you married in the States or did you get married in Japan?
We actually got married in Kyoto last year in February.
Wow. So what was it, like a real traditional Japanese wedding, or were you one of those tiny little Western-style wedding chapels?
Yeah. So we had a very traditional wedding in Kyoto.
I've never been to a Japanese wedding. Give us a little bit of background, what it's like, or...
Yeah. Sure. So it was a very beautiful location at Heian Jingu. I was wearing a hakama, kind of a type of kimono for husbands that are getting married. My wife had two separate kimonos that she was wearing that day, one white and one very stylized in red. And it was a really lovely, kind of quiet ceremony, and then a really nice, fun reception, too.
Did your family come from the States?
Oh, yeah, we were really lucky. So this was just before Corona really happened. So if it had been 2 weeks later, we would have really had to reschedule things. But yeah, for my parents and my siblings and a lot of aunts and uncles and cousins, they were really nice to come and join us in Japan.
Wow. And how did the families get along? How did your family and her family get along?
It was great. So my family doesn't speak Japanese at all. And for my wife's family, a few of them speak English. Yes. But for the most part, they couldn't communicate so much together. But through kind of eating and drinking and celebrating our wedding, it was a very nice time.
Yeah, that seems to be a good way for people to get along. The eating and drinking, I think is... Now, what are you doing in Japan? Are you working, or what are you up to?
Sure. So I teach English these days in Japan.
Now, where are you teaching it?
So I work for a school that has a few locations in Osaka, as well as one location in Akashi. And recently, actually, I started teaching some classes in Nishinomiya on Fridays.
Oh, at the NIA?
That's right.
Okay, well, let's get a plug in for that. Now, apparently, this is a group lesson, group English lesson?
That's correct.
Yeah. And from what I heard, it was supposed to have already started, I believe, but because of the corona, it's been delayed.
That's correct. Okay. So because of coronavirus, we've been delayed by about a week. But hopefully we'll get started soon and enjoying a lot of English together.
It's kind of, I hear that at NA, the English classes are starting to get very popular. Initially, it was all people coming to learn Japanese. So, well, good luck with that.
Oh, thank you very much.
So now, you've been here for almost 5 years. What are your plans? Like, do you plan to stay here, or do you think you'll move back to the States, or?
Sure. So. Actually, our original plan a year ago was to go back to the U.S. after a very long honeymoon. So actually, after we got married, we planned to go to Bali, India, Turkey, a few European countries, and back to the U.S.
How long of a honeymoon was that going to be?
It was going to be like 2 weeks.
What? How are you going to do all that?
I'm sorry, 2 months.
2 months,
okay. 2 months. That's quite wrong. But yeah, we were expecting a very long honeymoon going back to the U.S. But with the coronavirus, our plans changed. We came back to Japan. And for the near future, we're definitely going to keep our roots here.
Interesting. So how far did you get with your honeymoon on that?
Just Bali.
Just Bali. So do you think you might pick up the rest of that honeymoon trip at some date when the virus is kind of gone?
Sure. So our plan is after we are vaccinated to travel a lot more in the future. Hopefully we'll be able to get to all those places we didn't get to yet.
So what else? Do you have some questions, Thelma?
Yeah, I'm just curious. Like, have you been to any Japanese lessons in NIA?
No.
You should try.
I should try them. Yeah. Have you attended any lessons at NIA?
When I came here the first time, after 1 month, I came to Nishinomiya, the first place. So I met the first friend in NIA, and then I start my lesson there. So they're very good.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I should recommend you to go and try their lessons. Instead, also, like you're teaching English, and then you can learn more about it.
That's nice.
So I'm kind of curious here. Before the pandemic, besides your teaching, what other things did you do? Did you have like some hobbies? Were you hiking, biking, or any activities?
Sure. So before the pandemic, I was traveling around a lot. So I went all around Japan to Kyushu, Hokkaido, Shikoku, and many other places. I also did a lot of traveling in Asia. So I went to South Korea, Taiwan, Vietnam, Thailand, and a few others. So yeah, I was really enjoying traveling a lot.
So now with the pandemic, what are you doing?
Very little. But these days, my wife and I, we spend a lot of time at home. Recently, we've been playing some video games. So we've been kind of becoming video game nerds a little bit these days.
What kind of games do you play?
So we have a Nintendo Switch. So there's this game called Tetris 99.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember Tetris. It was a game from 30 years ago or so. Yes. But the kind of hook is that you play against 99 people online. And you can have a lot of fun together.
So how does that work? How can you be? Are you seeing them like in a Zoom window, or is it just like how do you play against Tetris against 99 people?
Sure. So on your screen, you've got your Tetris screen, and then there's a bunch of little icons for what the other players are seeing. And as you play, if you get rid of lines, you send them kind of lines that they have to fight against. And then there's only one winner at the end. A game can take maybe 10 or 15 minutes. It's a lot of fun.
So do you ever play your wife, and do you ever send her some of your blocks?
I should do so. We kind of take turns these days. But yeah, she's much better than me, though, so I don't think I could ever win if she's listening. I think.
So you're not a manga fan, I guess, or anime fan?
I'll watch like anime movies, but I'm not a huge fan or anything like that.
Well, there's video games. I never actually thought of doing that for spending time during the pandemic, but I think we'll take that as some advice. So thank you so much for joining us, and good luck. And good luck with the video games.
Yeah, it's been my pleasure. I'll hopefully see you around in the future.
Yes. Thanks, Jonathan. Bosai Joho desu. Well, surrounded by mountains, rivers, and ocean, Nishinomiya City is often chosen as one of the best places to live in Japan. I agree with that.
However, our beautiful surroundings also come with the risk of natural disaster like tsunamis, floods, and landslides.
Now, in late May, to aid with disaster prevention, Nishinomiya City distributed its yearly package of hazard maps to all city households.
And a highly detailed set of large, full-color maps is updated each year and includes a tsunami hazard map, a flood and landslide hazard map, and a list of evacuation centers.
Now, even though the maps are in Japanese, it's not difficult to check your location and see if your home is located in a high-risk area.
And take a moment to study these maps and become familiar with the hazard risk in your area. This way, you'll be able to prepare to evacuate in the event of a disaster.
Well, good news, everyone. Vaccination reservations for people 65 and older finally started in Nishinomiya City last month. However, people 64 and under will still have to wait a little while longer.
But don't worry, if you are a registered resident of Nishinomiya City, you automatically receive a letter from the city when you become eligible for vaccination.
So be sure to open the letter, and whatever you do, don't lose it. I mean, there's important information in there. And if you can't read the letter or fully understand the Japanese instructions, be sure to visit the city's website or the NIA Facebook page, where multi-language versions of the letter will be posted.
If you have any questions about the efficacy and safety of the vaccine or the risk of side effects, please call the Ministry of Health and Welfare Consultation Center at 0120-761-770. And this is a toll-free call, and English-speaking consultants are available every day from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m.
If you have any questions about the inoculation coupons or where and how to get vaccinated, please call the Nishinomiya City COVID-19 Vaccination Call Center at 0120-217610. This is also a toll-free call available every day from 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., but they have Japanese-speaking consultants only.
Remember, vaccines will be available to all those who wish to be inoculated. So don't stress out, please be patient and wait for your turn.
If you have any other questions or need help, please don't hesitate to contact NIA at 0798-328680 or write an email to nia@nishi.or.jp.
提供は西宮市国際交流協会でした。